Welcome to Russian Made Easy with Mark Thompson. Mark has been teaching students from all over the world to quickly and easily speak Russian. And now, here's Mark.
Привет, and welcome to episode 29 of Russian Made Easy. In today's podcast, we're going to master the sixth and final verb conjugation in Russian. I mentioned this at the end of the last episode. Did you figure out which one we're missing? First, start by repeating this word.
Они.
One more time.
Они.
What does it mean? Well, here's the setup. You see the neighbors across the street, the Johnsons, pull into their driveway and get out of their minivan. You ask your wife, "Did the Johnsons take a trip?" And she says,
Да, они были в Диснейленде.
So she said, yes, они were at Disneyland. So,
Они.
is one of the Russian words for they. By now, it's no surprise that it rhymes with all those other plural forms. Try saying, you guys, we, they.
Вы. Мы. Они.
Вы, мы, они. Nor is it a surprise that они rhymes with the past tense plural form of the verb. Listen. They were.
Они были.
Они были. How would you say they wanted pizza?
Они хотели пиццу.
They bought a car.
Они купили машину.
They said hi.
Они сказали привет.
Try this. He said, she said, they said.
Он сказал. Она сказала. Они сказали.
Try saying, they gave me a present.
Они дали мне подарок.
So, using они with the past tense is easy, and for the most part, using the present tense is easy too. Let's look for the pattern. First say, I'll have the pancakes.
Я буду блины.
Now listen as he tells the waitress, they'll have pizza.
Они будут пиццу.
So just say, I'll have, they'll have.
Я буду. Они будут.
One more time.
Я буду. Они будут.
How do you say, I live in Cleveland?
Я живу в Кливленде.
Now, any guess on how you might say, they live in Oakland?
Они живут в Окленде.
Now just say, I live, they live.
Я живу. Они живут.
One more time.
Я живу. Они живут.
Say, I don't know.
Я не знаю.
Now try saying, they don't know.
Они не знают.
I know, they know.
Я знаю. Они знают.
One more time.
Я знаю. Они знают.
So the plural form, in the present tense, ends with a T sound, and usually you're just adding it onto the ya form. Let's try one more. I work in an office.
Я работаю в офисе.
They work in a store.
Они работают в магазине.
I work, they work.
Я работаю. Они работают.
There are some exceptions to this, which we'll get to after this tip of the day.
And now, here's your tip of the day from Russian Made Easy.
As I mentioned in the last podcast, we now have learned all 6 verb forms and all 6 grammatical cases. So let's do a quick rundown, first of the verb forms using the verb to know. So, try saying, I know.
Я знаю.
Ask your friend, you don't know?
Ты не знаешь?
Let's ask a stranger on the street, you wouldn't happen to know where the subway is.
Вы не знаете, где метро?
John knows.
Джон знает.
We don't know.
Мы не знаем.
And today's form, they know.
Они знают.
As I said, that's a huge accomplishment. And really, much more importantly, you've learned all 6 of the grammatical cases in Russian. And now that you know the case endings, just for fun, let's take a look at some of the fancy names that linguists like to use for them. I don't expect you to memorize these. I just want you to have had some exposure to the terms. Okay, here goes. Whoever or whatever is doing the action in the Russian sentence is considered to be in the nominative form. Nominative. So, for example, John wants beer.
Джон хочет пива.
John is doing the action, so his name, that word, John, is in the nominative form. Now, which word in the following Russian sentence is in the nominative case?
Мне нравится пицца.
in the Russian sentence you just heard, the word pizza is doing the action, so it's in the nominative case. Nominative is also basically the dictionary form. When you look up a word in the dictionary, it's going to be in its nominative case. Next, when you do something to someone or to something, that thing goes into the accusative case. It's a bizarre term, but what can you do? So,
Я хочу пиццу.
the word я is the one doing the action, so it's in the nominative form. And we're doing something to the pizza, which is why it's in its accusative form, pizzu. Next, the recipient of something, like someone who receives a gift or receives a phone call, is in the dative case. Again, what kind of name is that? I would have called it the recipient case. But anyway, I gave the present to John.
Я дал подарок Джону.
John is receiving the gift, so his name has to go into the dative form, which is Jonu.
Джону.
Next, to represent the idea of being in a particular location, the actual location word has to go into the prepositional case. So, I live in New York.
Я живу в Нью-Йорке.
We add that yeah sound to the end of New York because that word needs to be in its prepositional form. All right, 4 down, 2 to go. Let's talk about the genitive case now. Genitive. Remember how we said that the small words, called prepositions, have a big effect on the words that follow? Well, each little word forces different cases, and one was this. Listen.
У меня есть кошка.
Literally, we're saying, at me there is a cat. U меня есть кошка. Well, the word меня is actually the genitive form of ya. And it was forced into that by the little word u. By the way, English also uses the genitive case. After all, we don't say, Steve drove I home. The word I has to go into the genitive case. So we say, Steve drove me home. And finally, there's the instrumental case. Think of this as the with case, as in, I want coffee with milk.
Я хочу кофе с молоком.
To say with milk, the word молоко has to change to молоком. Or this, they were talking with Robert.
Они говорили с Робертом.
Again, the word Robert has to go into its instrumental form, which is Robertum, with an at the end. And that's it. All 6 grammatical cases in a nutshell. Sorry for covering all of this so lightly. I just wanted to do the briefest overview so that the names of the cases are no longer foreign to you. So why was this in the tip of the day? Well, my tip is, as you continue to use Russian and learn Russian beyond this podcast, try to keep these cases in mind. Not the names so much as the underlying principle for each one. For example, if you know that the word for jam is a cognate,
Джем.
you can then try to speak grammatically if you're in a cafe trying to order pancakes with jam. I would say, Я буду блины с джемом.
Я буду блины с джемом.
If you live in Phoenix, even if you've never heard the word Phoenix in its prepositional form, you can still try to guess the ending. Try saying, I live in Phoenix.
Я живу в Фениксе.
All right, before getting back to our new verb form that we've been working with today, please repeat the following new word.
Мед.
One more time.
Мед.
What is it? Well, the deliciously sweet yellow substance that bees make is called мед. So,
Мед.
is the Russian word for honey, and it's clearly related to the English word mead, M-E-A-D. Mead is basically an alcoholic honey drink. So from mead, you get мед.
Мед.
So imagine you're with your two children in a Russian cafe. Gesturing to your kids, tell the waitress, they'll have the pancakes with honey.
Они будут блины с медом.
Did you remember to put the word honey into its instrumental form? The with form? Try saying with honey.
С медом.
С медом. As I mentioned earlier, usually we just add a T sound to the end of the ya form to get the ani form. But not always. Listen to this. They speak Russian.
Они говорят по-русски.
There's still a T at the end, but listen to the difference. I speak, they speak.
Я говорю. Они говорят.
If I were to give you a second tip for the day, it would be this. Don't be afraid to guess. Don't be afraid to apply the pattern to new situations. Yes, you never know when there's going to be an exception, but it's no big deal. A native speaker will understand that you're applying the general pattern and will gently correct you. So if you accidentally said, Они говорят, a native speaker would just correct you and say,
Говорят.
no big deal. Try asking, do they speak English?
Они говорят по-английски.
All right, that's the end of today's lesson. And as I mentioned last time, that's actually the end of the new material for quite some time. I'm going to be consulting on some new language courses, which I'm really excited about. Plus, I'm organizing some new Russian language workshops on location in Ukraine and in the US. But I really hope you continue your studies with my Russian Accelerator course. Anyway, brace yourself for the final exam coming up in our last podcast, and I'll see you then.
This has been another episode of Russian Made Easy with Mark Thompson. For more time-saving tips and shortcuts for learning Russian, head over to RussianMadeEasy.com.